Hey guys, Pitmaster here. We are going to do some drills from the horse stance. Now that's how we get into the horse stance. We start in an informal position, legs shoulder width apart. It doesn't really matter how you get into it, but I'm going to tell you how we do it. Legs shoulder width apart, and then we step out into a wide squatting position. We call it the horse stance because it looks like you're riding a horse, but we call it a squatting position or a horse stance. We like to use this stance to do a lot of our punching drills. There's good news and bad news, or an upside and a downside to this. The upside is you build up really good base, a really good strong foundation. It really works your upper legs, your glutes, your hamstrings, and your thighs. So one thing you can do with the horse stance is you can do the horse stance for, say, a minute, as low as you can. It's kind of like planking in yoga, doing the plank. But you stay in a really low horse stance for like a minute, have your students do strikes or whatever, and then boom, have them do 25 squats, and then right back to a horse for a minute, then 25 squats. Try that 5 times. So basically it's 5 minutes of squat and 125 squats. Great exercise. Anytime you get into horse stance, you're really building up your legs. Low stance. We want to engage the hips, and you're going to engage your glutes and your hamstrings and your thighs. And if you do a really long horse stance, it can get kind of boring. I mean, there's better things to do. So you can mix it up with squats, like horse stance, like I just said, horse stance for a minute. 25 squats, do that 5 times. Or like we're doing here is we're getting in a good deep horse stance and we're just working different strikes. Here we're doing the downward hammer blow. We were doing the uppercut earlier. The good part of this is you work more your shoulders and you can work the technique, the form of the technique. The downside of this is you don't have any hip engagement. So like when we're doing like hooks, or even when we did our uppercuts, we can't use the hip like we want to because we're in a horse stance. But it does get us to work the shoulders and the form of the strike more. Like hooks right now. Hook is almost all hip, but right now we're going to focus the technique of the hook from the above the hip. Okay? So we're working on the hip, snapping the shoulder, keeping the fist tight, working the form and the direction of the hook. Okay? But we're not getting to use the hip. So it's a different kind of practice. It's a different drill. So when you do horse stance drills, that's basically what you're doing. You're just kind of modifying the way you're throwing everything. But the good side of this is you're getting a great lower body foundation and leg workout. Okay? And the part that I'm leaving out here is it's a great traditional technique. It's just you going back to the old days. I mean, almost all traditional striking martial arts use some type of horse stance to throw some of their techniques and to practice and to drill. So one of my favorite parts of the horse stance is you're just going old school. You're doing traditional training that a lot of newer, like MMA-based gyms don't do. But we're getting all the strikes in. This is the back knuckle. You can use the back knuckle from a fighting stance to counter a jab or to give. It's kind of like an uppercut. It's called the back knuckle. So I like the horse stance. I use it almost once a week for my class. I do it even in a lot of my fitness classes. Just to bring back some traditionality. And like I said, sometimes I'll do horse stance and then squats. Another good thing about the horse stance is it does stretch you out for the kicks later. So when I do the horse stance in the beginning of the class, maybe after a little warm-up like jumping jacks, etc., then this will be a warm-up for my legs. And it helps to stretch out my legs a little bit. So anyway, I love the horse stance. I hope you do too. Thanks for coming. Please subscribe. Please comment on how you like my video. I'll I will see you in the next video. Thanks for coming, guys.